Hey, what's up, you guys? Just wanted to catch you up on what we learned from box number 5. There was 2 coded letters in there that I had to decode, and so we didn't quite get to finish everything. So I just wanted to pop in and go over what we learned and what was in the letters, because, girl, there's some stuff to unravel with that. Okay, so first of all, the objective was to dismiss one more person as a possible killer, and it turns out that the person that we, could rule out as being the killer was Ira Adler. Now, if you'll remember, there was a hotel uh, book that had sort of like on the hour, like who did what kind of thing, with the guests. And there was a fake name given, but it perfectly matched what happened and the time frame that Ira was on the phone with the hotel that like messed up his dinner reservation or whatever. So it was actually him. He was using an alias because he was there with Evelyn. So, fun fact. But yeah, he got ruled out as being the possible killer. So now we still have Evelyn could have done it while, because he was on the phone and he heard a scuffle and thumping, and then he heard the elevator go off. But so he was there when she got killed, which is crazy that he was there but on the phone and like yelling at, some poor hotel person while there was a murder happening. Like, just priorities, man, priorities. Anyway, Evelyn was in the area, and then afterwards she went to dinner with him, so she could have done it. I don't think that she could have like taken a heavy trunk and drug it and got it on the elevator and all that. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Evelyn is still possibly a killer, and then George Erickson, the theater owner, is possibly a killer, and we're gonna get into that because, oh, whew, girl. Okay, so first of all, if you'll remember, the letter to Ira from Hector had all of this like code at the bottom. So I had to go through and figure out what it said, and it was all using this letter. Like, it's the sort of the code was like 1-4-1 means first line, fourth word, first letter of that word. That's the letter that, like, so I had to go through like all of this and dig through, like, it was crazy. So the code says, "Doctor called, baby born. Do you want to visit? Have you told E?" Which tells me that Ira is the baby daddy, and he probably hasn't told Evelyn that, hey, by the way, before I hooked up with you, I hooked up with Viola and I knocked her up. Just saying. So there's that. They've got a secret baby together. Hector helped hide it, which is crazy. Okay. Now, if you'll remember, in the last box, there was a deed or whatever where George Erickson sold the theater to Ira and Evelyn. Okay, remember that? Keep that in mind. That's important. Okay, so this next one, I ended up having to go online to get the cipher for it because I could not figure it out to save my life. But there's a lot going on here. So I'm going to reread this letter to you guys, but with everything decoded. Okay, just, girl, this is a lot. Okay, so I apologize for my voice again, by the way. "Such time I've given to this enterprise, only to have my whole world turned upside down. What was once my foundation is now over my head. Face it, the play isn't working, even though my love is in it." Keep in mind, this is George Erickson. Viola Vane was the star, okay? He was like obsessed with her, but I don't think they were together. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't Nothing that I've read so far has indicated that she was actually involved with the director. She was, or the owner. I think she was just diddling with the director while she was engaged to Hector. But I don't think she had anything going on with George. But I think his wife did, because if you'll remember the very first box, she wrote a letter to Ira saying that she shouldn't that he shouldn't have Viola in any of his future plays because she's an immoral person. But I think she just found out that George Eriksen had a thing for her and got a little jelly. That's what I'm thinking was going on there. I don't think they were actually involved. We'll see. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Anyway, play isn't working even though my love is in it. I'm going to need to call the Batucci's or Batucci's. I don't know. He's gonna have to call the mob. Okay, that's what we're getting at here. We're gonna have to call the mob. We're just gonna call them that again. And before they have to be the ones to pick up the telephone first. Chicago overcoats happen to men who don't repay men like them. And I looked it up because I figured that was some kind of slang for like they're gonna kill you, but I wasn't for sure. And that was a popular slang used for coffins. So that was absolutely the gist of what he was trying to say there is they're gonna kill me if I don't, pay them. I need to pay them what I owe. Write it down, look at it. Maybe then it will finally sink in. I'll forgive you, my darling. I know you'll make it up to me. So she took money from him, I'm guessing. Maybe that extended stay that she, a little vacation that she took where she disappeared for a while to have a baby. I wonder if maybe she like got some money from him, like took out a loan against the theater or something. I don't know. Interesting. What could I do to get what they need? Well, there's one thing I could use, my only thing. It is my livelihood. It is everything. It is what brought my love to me in the first place. But if I don't, what would that mean for me and you? If I sold the theater, where would that leave us? If I left this place and these people, I'm sure I could convince you to come with me. I can imagine it in verse in the way I know you would appreciate, a way of which I know you are fond. The two of us atop the world, atop the Empire State Building, you and not in the arms of any old buffoon, but in mine. And what that means to keep us, a world that means to keep us apart would make us spend 120 days in Sodom. No, 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 no. Such vulgarity, such mundanity is inappropriate for a beauty such as you, my darling. Will anything be good enough? Some people just aren't poets, I suppose. Oh, if only I could write something for you, as the bard wrote for the Dark Lady. I too do rise at thy name, if only my nobler part were more inclined. Now, I don't know if it's just my dirty mind, but when I hear that, I think of like pee-pee, like he's having some erectile dysfunction. I don't know. Anyone else, my nobler part? I don't. If this was Shakespeare, it would absolutely mean penis. I'm just saying. I would write tales of you as my bright lady. Maybe one day, maybe an epic. Of course, there's always the problem of my wife. But such problems shall be dealt with before we can be together. What I have to deal with now is what's directly in front of me, what's waiting on the west side if I don't get them what I owe. I'd never let such problems fall to your feet. I've come to trust that I might have to sell, even if it's just to pay off the mob. I don't want to, and I don't think you'll be pleased, my bright lady, but even so, it seems like good hands await the cadence with Ira. This may have brought us together, but I know we don't need it to stay together. So basically, he's planning on selling off the theater to Ira, which he ended up doing in order to pay off the mob, and then he was going to leave his wife for Viola, who unfortunately was already dead by then. So that never got to happen. But yeah, interesting, right? Like he was in with the mob, owed them a ton of money, had to sell off the theater just to pay off the mob. And then his wife leaves him, and the woman that he thought he was going to leave his wife for has gone missing, but little does he know, she's freaking dead. And in the attic of the theater he just sold. Plot twist. There's so much going on here, guys. We have one more box, and then I'm going to switch over to the spooky boxes. The very first box with that is the Blair Witch Project, which I am a huge fan of the Blair Witch Project. I love those movies. Well, the movie, the first one. I didn't really watch the second one. I'm not going to lie. Like, it just looks stupid to me. But the first one I loved, so I'm really, really excited to do that. But that was this a little catch up from the last box, and then probably sometime next week I will unbox the 6th box and we'll figure out who the killer is. I'm banking on George Erickson though, although I don't know, because like he was. But see, here's the thing. Okay, what if he found out that she'd had a secret baby with Ira and like he didn't know that like she and Ira were a thing? What if that's like what like made him kill her? And then of course there's Evelyn who, she's now with Ira and then finds out that like she had a secret baby with her man. I don't know. Like there's motives there. There's two clear motives there, but we don't know who the actual killer is. It'll be interesting. But don't forget the very first box there was mentioned that there was cufflinks found underneath the trunk, which makes me think it has to be George, right? Anyone else with me? I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and like I said, next week I'll probably do another live and do the last box, and we'll see if we can figure out who the killer is together. If not, then I'll do another follow-up and we'll unravel all the mysteries of the Cadence Theater. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.